Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Petty Revenge. In today's episode, Petty Revenge at the dog park. You littered so I gave your trash back. Justice parking. Enjoy the calls from the debt collectors, and more. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Petty Revenge at the dog park. I've not done any kind of revenge of any type for a while, but today was a day worth posting about. It was great weather this morning and I decided to take my mutt to the dog park. This park is typical of others. It's fenced and has a plastic bag dispenser at both gates so dog parents can clean up after their kid goes poop. The back gate leads to a greenway/walking trail. A woman walked in the park ahead of me with her dog. I follow behind and get a bag because I know my girl is going to make a big boom boom within minutes of sniffing around. And she does. So does the lady's dog. I dutifully bag the poop, and as I'm walking toward the trash can I notice the lady walking toward the back gate with her dog. She exited the park and disappeared down the trail, leaving behind an epic mound of what appeared to be half-digested pizza with lots of anchovies. I hate people who don't bother cleaning up after their dog. Cue the wicked pettiness in my soul. I got another bag and cleaned up after her dog. I then let my dog play and waited for her to return. I was going to hand the bag to her along with some choice commentary. But, when it was time for me to go, she had not yet returned. No problem, she had parked right beside me. I had intended to dump her dog's poop on the hood of her car, but to my gleeful surprise, she'd left one of her back windows down. I didn't dump the poop inside her car, I'm not that big of an a-hole, but I casually opened her back door and stuck the bag under her seat before leaving the scene with a big shit-eating grin, no pun intended. It is now a sunny 85 degrees here. I hope the smell inside her car is nauseating. You littered so I gave your trash back. I'm not a confrontational person, but once in a while something will set me off. After doing a short grocery run, I decided to get a sickly sweet frappuccino from the Starbucks next to the grocery store. There was a small queue in front of me, but that's okay. The guy in front of me seemed to be quite distracted. He didn't notice that the car in front of him had pulled forward. After a few minutes he realized and made to pull forward, but not before he casually put his hand out the window and dropped trash on the ground. I saw him. Everyone seated in the store next to the big glass wall saw him. It was so blatant that I was in a bit of shock. It really pissed me off. So I got out of my car, picked up the dropped rubbish, walked up to his vehicle and dropped it back into his open window. You forgot this, I said, and started back to my car. A woman put her head out and yelled at me. I said, "Don't throw your trash on the ground," and, after her shouting at me some more, got back in my car. She later got out with a toddler, who obviously wasn't strapped into a car seat, and stood at the drive-through window between her car and my car, putting herself and her child in danger. I made eye contact with a customer inside and got some claps and thumbs up from the people inside watching the show, which was nice as by this point I was a shaking bundle of nerves. Before they left, the driver, and litterer, got out to ask me why I had thrown his garbage back in his car. "Don't throw your garbage on the ground," I repeated. He got back in and they drove off. I'm pretty sure that the toddler was not safely seated. When I pulled up to the window to get my diabetes in a cup, I was thanked by the employee. He was all smiles as I sheepishly shrugged and blurted out, "I don't like litter." He handed me my drink and a free treat for my trouble. Justice parking. So I was going through my photos as I recently upgraded my phones and came across one that made me smile. A few months ago on a day that was not great for me, tired with 2 under 2, with my wife stuck at work for a double and I needed to go to the store to get stuff like food and milk. So I go to Aldi 5 minutes from my house with my infant son just woken up from a nap and my toddler daughter going down for one when I get her home. Now an important detail about this Aldi parking lot is that 95% of the parking spaces are on the border of the lot, so you have to either back into them or back out. However, there are about 6 right by the entrance, in the middle of the parking lot, and a no parking striped area behind them, cause people kept parking behind the spaces despite there not being room. Well, I'm sure you can guess what I see in the parking lot. Someone parked diagonally in the no parking stripe so that they would be double parked. And the lot was mostly empty, plenty of spaces on the sides. They just didn't want a space they'd have to back in or out of. But the spaces in front of it are empty. So I back up into the space in front of the car so they can't pull forward. I grab a cart and put the kids in, son in the basket, daughter in the cart, snap a picture of my parking job, and see the driver of the car I blocked in coming up. Also, the Aldi is right on a busy street with people coming into Aldi and stores in the plaza, so it took a few minutes for them to back out, which I could see since Aldi has big picture windows facing the street. Enjoy the calls from the debt collectors, and more. Backstory. I've been with this company for almost a decade in total. In between those years, I took some time off to venture into other things before joining them again. During my time away, there seemed to have been some issues with a supplier and we didn't pay the bills. After years of no payments, I guess the supplier had had enough and passed the bill to a company that specializes in debt collection. These debt collectors are ruthless and wouldn't stop calling. But I don't blame them, you know. They're just doing their job. I told the management about the outstanding payment and everything, but it seemed like they didn't want to settle the bill. I usually answer the phone in the office, so I would always end up speaking with the debt collectors. I've also given them my name before, so they would ask for me even if someone else answered the call. It was beyond frustrating because I became their target. There's no caller ID, so we won't know who is calling. If I hung up, they would call back immediately. Nothing I did seemed to deter them, and I tried many things. COVID happened, and I thankfully didn't have to deal with them anymore because of the lockdown. Now for the petty revenge. In the middle of COVID, I was forced to resign, and the way things were handled by the management was messy, unprofessional, and a general mess which really turned things sour. Bridges were burnt and they can shove it up their arses. Like I've been with you guys for almost a decade and this is what I get. Foo. Cue debt collectors. All these while I've been the gatekeeper and never let them speak to anyone else, even if I had to bear the brunt. So when that sh*t show happened, well, I guess someone else needs to liaise with the debt collectors now. I found the debt collectors website, sent them an anonymous website inquiry with the company's name and the bill in question, the manager's phone numbers, as well as the owner's contact details, and told them to have fun calling them. But oh, that's not enough for me. I might have also used their contact details to look for loans that are not from banks, if you get my drift, because you know. It's COVID and the business is suffering and they could use the extra cash, right? Not one, not two, but many applications were sent to various websites. I don't know what happened after that, but I'd like to believe that they'd be getting calls every day. It's been a while and perhaps it's time for me to do another round of loan inquiries for them. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.